Good evening, YouTube friends and family. This is Laura coming to you tonight. Just with a short video, and I wanted to talk to you about having to make a choice between right and wrong. Having to make a choice to do right or to do wrong. What about you? Have you ever found yourself in a predicament where you had to choose between right and wrong? You weighed out all your options. You knew the right choice. You knew the end results of doing right. And you knew what the end result would be of doing wrong. My friend, did you struggle? Well, we all struggle. We all struggle with doing what's right. And why do we do that? We can know what to do, how to do it, but why does it seem that there's evil present on every hand? Why is it such a struggle sometimes to do the right thing? Well, we all know the story of Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel were the sons of Adam and Eve, and it was time for them to bring their first fruit, or the first fruits of their labor, as a sacrifice unto God. Well, Abel, his sacrifice was accepted by God, and it was respected by God. But Cain, his offering was not accepted by God. It was not respected unto the Lord. And so Cain became frustrated, like most of us do, when we're trying to do what's right in our righteousness, or what we consider righteousness, is not getting us anywhere. It's not getting the end results. The people in which we're doing right for, they're not responding the right way. We feel underappreciated, not appreciated. We feel used. We feel abused. We just feel like, okay, why should I continue to do right? Well, Cain felt that way. And so his countenance fell. He became frustrated. He became angry. But God warned him that if he did right, wouldn't he be accepted? God also warned him that if he didn't do right, that sin was crouching at his door. That's powerful. If he didn't do right, sin was crouching at his door and waiting to take him out. Well, we all know the story. Cain and Abel were talking with each other, and all of a sudden, Cain murdered his brother. And so when God came looking for Abel, Cain, with a flippant expression, said, "Am I my brother's keeper?" God saw and knew exactly what Cain had done. Cain was pre-warned that sin was crouching at his door, and that sin was going to overtake him if he didn't get it under control, and if he didn't do what was right. And so sometimes that can be the story of our lives. We all know, as the story goes on, that Cain had to leave his country, that God put a mark on him, that if anyone should try to avenge or take his life or do anything, any type of harm to Cain, that God would revenge it, sevenfold. And so a mark was placed on him that no man touched Cain. And he was allowed to go on, and he got married, and he had children. And we all know what the end results of that was. So, bringing us up to speed Why is it that we find it so hard to do what's right? Why is it such a struggle? Well, one of the reasons is that the intent of our heart, we may feel like I have every intention of doing the right thing, but in a moment's notice, the intent of the heart can be changed. Just as in the situation with Cain and Abel, the intent of the heart can change in a moment's notice. Well, what happens with the intent of the heart? What enters the heart and makes it go from wanting to do right to do wrong? Well, there are several things that happens with the intent of the heart. Sometimes we become impatient with doing the right thing. We're not getting the results quick enough. So we become impatient, and so we step into doing what we want to do. Sometimes pride can change the intent of the heart. Selfishness. We have the ability to do what's right, but we withhold that ability towards someone because of pride, stubbornness, rebellion, jealousy, envy, and sometimes just plain being revengeful. We feel that this person has done something to us, or their response to us is predicated as far as the power to do right by them. And so if their response is not what we think it should be, or if they have harmed us at any time, and we're reminded of that, and that we still hold that within our heart, it becomes real easy to withhold doing good towards that person. You know what? Because revenge tastes so sweet. And that's not right. That's the result of sin. That's the result of sin taking us out when we behave in that manner. The Bible tells us that there's always a struggle inside of us between good and evil, between the flesh and the spirit. And it all boils down to who's going to win the fight. The desire to do wrong, sometimes it takes over. And then after doing wrong, well, what do we experience? We experience guilt, sadness, regret, and also we experience the consequences of our action. We experience the consequence of our sin. And then guess what? That same test comes around again. That same test presents itself at a different time. And again, we're faced with a dilemma to do right or to do wrong. Well, my friend, you're not going to pass the test and move on to the next chapter or to the next stage of life until you, in that moment, make the right choice, make it up in your mind to do what's right and to follow through with doing what's right. And so really, we must realize that making right choices and doing the right thing, it's a day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. Sometimes it's even second by second that we're presented with the opportunity to do what's right and to follow through with doing what's right. And so whichever one wins, right or wrong, good or evil, flesh or the spirit, depends on who you're listening to at that moment. And sometimes all it takes is a moment for us to lose our focus and to take our eyes off of Jesus And the end result of losing our focus and taking our eyes off of Jesus and not listening, hardening our hearts, closing up our ears, can lead us to doing wrong when we know to do right. And it can lead us to experiencing the consequences of our action. And so I just want to encourage you tonight, my friend. We all struggle. Each and every single one of us, on a day-to-day basis, we struggle to do the right thing. We know to do the right thing. But by nature, the heart is evil above all things. And so you have to fight the good fight of faith. You have to fight, my friend, to make the right choice, to do the right thing, and to follow through with it. And believe me, my friend, as long as you're living on this earth, you're going to be faced with the dilemma to do the right thing each and every day of your life, as long as there's breath in your body and as long as you exist on this earth. You will come face to face with the dilemma to do right or to do wrong. Well, my friend, when you're faced with that dilemma, and we're not going to always make the right choice, but remember what it leads to. The wrong choice leads to sin taking over, regret, shame, guilt, and the consequences of our sin, the consequences of our action. And so we got to pay the full price for that. But when the opportunity comes around again, be prepared to pass the test. Be prepared to do the right thing. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep your ears open to his word. Don't lose focus. And believe me, he will repay you for your righteous and your good decisions. He will repay you for your righteous actions. Other people may not repay you, but hey, God will. He sees all and he knows all, and he shall repay. Don't worry about it. Your good will not be thought evil of in the eyes of the Savior. Okay? So stay encouraged, my friend. Pass the test. It's worth it. Okay? You can do this. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you and strengthens me and strengthens all of us. Okay? So thank you for listening. If you enjoy the content of my YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, or share this video with someone. We all need a little encouragement. We all need to make right choices. God bless you. And until we meet again, bye-bye, my friend.